Hey, hello everyone. I'm back with another ASO Audit video. For full context, like I do in all these videos, I share a bit about how I get these apps, and I always post them on Reddit in this sub called our App Store Optimization. And um, every time I receive quite a few developers who are looking for this ASO audit because ASO is a space which not a lot of developers know about, or if even if they know, they're always looking for ways to improve. So I'm very happy to do these audits, and I use one tool which I'll show you later, which helps me make this a bit faster. But a lot of this is still just me thinking about new ideas when I'm looking at each listing. So similarly, I posted this on Reddit, and I received 16 people who are looking for an audit. As always, I can only do 5. Actually, today I'm going to try and stretch to 6. Last time I tried stretching to 7 was when my screen recorder bailed on me. So I hope that doesn't happen today, and I'm looking forward to this. So let's get started. The first app is FoodScanX. This is an AI food scanner, which obviously is a niche which is quite populated right now. And let's just use US as our target market for this. While the ASO audit happens here in this tool, let me see the listing first. So the few things that strike out before even going to that page is, one is the subtitle is completely not optimized right now. There's only one keyword that you're targeting called nutrition identifier, which might be linking a bit with, let's say, food identifier, the permutations between the title and the subtitle, but it's wasting a lot of space here, and that will be identified in the tool. So there will be no surprises there. Second thing is, I think this icon is not bad, but it feels a bit too AI. I feel it's you need you AI is amazing for making app icons, and I encourage it, but I think when you prompt the AI to make icons for you, you should try to minimize how AI it feels. You see what I mean? Like, um, sometimes it becomes so clearly visible that it's AI generated that a user might think that the developer did not spend enough time making the icon. It might come across as that. So try to improve the icon. I think there is room here. The overall concept is good, and also, like, it's just the design which might require a bit of rework. The color scheme might be something that might be a bit hard to read on a small device. On my desktop it looks okay, but let's say I'm looking at it on a phone on a small screen. It might not look very clear, because let's say, for example, these borders here which denote the scanning functionality, they might not be very visible on a small screen. So just keep that in mind. When I look at the screenshots, the color scheme and visibility is not an issue, and I think you're doing a good job with highlighting the actual food options and explaining what kind of metrics it's pulling out of the different nutritional information. But I do think that it's too much of text, and it might be so busy that it's sometimes good to give some extra explanation, but right now it might be a bit too extra. So try to cut down on the text here. I think these headlines are good, the top level, but this might be a bit too detailed. So that's just some things that I picked up from the listing. When I go to the audit, it's the same thing that subtitle is being flagged that I already did. The title, one more thing to point out is that your brand name, which is FoodScanX here, can actually come here. And the reason for that is that the keywords in the title get more weight when they're at the front. So try doing that. Try splitting. Try rearranging these keywords to come in the front. Right now there are no ratings and reviews, so that's a gap. Try to get more friends and family to rate your app. Localizations are a gap. This niche is a bit competitive, so you have to be careful. You might not be able to easily crack the US market for a niche like this because the space is really cluttered. So try expanding to other countries where this app might be relevant. It could be Latin America, Europe, countries where English is not spoken. So try to tap into localizations for that. It's a new app, so completely understand. It's just launched, like a week ago, so it's fair. It's completely fair for a lot of these things to be work in progress, but there's definitely room to improve on it. And when I look at the keyword rankings, still doing this analysis, but of course, for the tough keywords, the single words, I don't expect it to rank for it. It's too new. For some of the others, there are keywords that you are kind of targeting, like food AI, food scanner, AI scanner. But again, the ranking is not completely the app is not completely visible because it's just so new. So you might have to find some other keywords, and I can try to find some for you if possible. I can see if there are any food related keywords here. Um, Sort by difficulty. There are some keywords, food logging. Okay, let me set also a minimum traffic of 1. So I'll weed out the keywords which are super low in traffic. And there are some like food journaling, food waste related, scan food and products. This might be a good one for you. Approve food scanner. So there's some keywords. There are quite a few. I mean, there's total 176 plus keywords in this database that you could potentially tap into. So my overall recommendation would be reposition your title keywords, expand your subtitle, relook at localizations, and try to find keywords that are low in difficulty. I forgot to mention also that your description is completely unoptimized right now. You need to rewrite it and write it with more keywords. I do have a tool in my platform called the AI ASO Copilot that you can leverage for this. So you can use this feature for that, which automatically creates those listing elements. So that's the first app. Let's move on to the second app. It's called Uniconvert. It's a document sorry, it's not just a document conversion, it's a unit conversion app for many different purposes. So it has currency, audio. It's like all in one. It's quite a unique app. So it's a good one. Let's go and put it in this tool and let's play. And at the same time, let's start looking at the listing. So I think the icon looks really professional. The only thing, the catch would be, I don't know if the user can understand what the app does. I mean, looking at the title, they probably can, but just looking at the icon, probably not. So if I were you at this stage, early on, the app is probably newish, right? It's not too old. Yeah, it's relatively new. I would try to focus on a particular few use cases which can highlight the conversion. If it's like image conversion or a unit conversion or a currency conversion, and try to focus on that. The other thing that I think can be really relevant for you, maybe like you have to go slowly with that, is custom product pages. Because your app does so many things in one, you can actually create custom listings for each keyword that's supported by iOS. And you can then create like a separate title, subtitle, and description for it. So I think that can be very powerful because that can help you um, expand into many different areas of your use cases. Now, the title is okay, but is the same suggestion I gave to the previous one. Try to move your keywords in the front. We'll see the keyword rankings and the traffic soon. This is also okay, although this converter is repeated. So repeats are actually wasting space. Try to minimize repeats. That's just an ASO best practice. When it comes to the screenshots, the text is a bit too small. Like especially if you see these subheadings, it's really small. It looks small even on this big screen. I have to squint to see it. So especially for a bigger screen, expand this font. And I think again, if I were you, I would actually just keep the top and then increase it in size. Make it like much bigger so that it covers this empty space. And I think you'd be good with the screenshots. Do test out repositioning them, because I don't know which particular use case is currently driving the most traffic for you. It makes sense to first highlight those screenshots. So let's say you identify that most of your users are doing currency conversion or image conversion. Focus fully on that. So let's go back to the listing audit. Same findings here, duplicate of converter. Move this back. It's again new app, so ratings, reviews being low is okay. Localization, still a gap here, again understandable, new app, but consider expanding your localizations. And actually this app has optimized its description well. That's good. It's already using 3,000 characters out of 4,000, so that's something that you're already doing well. You've covered quite a lot of use cases, so this will eventually help you. Maybe not now, but eventually it will help you. So that's a good thing. When I look at the keyword rankings, it's a similar story that most of the traffic keywords are not ranking at all, but good thing is that some of them are. So for example, document converter, you're at 107. It's still very buried, no one will scroll to that level, but at least it shows that Apple is starting to pay some attention to your app. It's not completely buried, because document converter is a very good traffic keyword, and it has some difficulty. So that, and the fact that you're somehow ranking for it now, even if it's low, it's a good positive initial sign, although you need to work on it. And actually, this niche has a lot of keywords in my database. Like, I know that because I made a lot of these videos, and I can just show you, like, there are like a ton of these videos. Like, PDF conversions are like 240 plus, right? There's like JPEG. Sorry, let me just sort it. I think it's, yeah, there's quite a few. PNG was also like quite a bit. So there's quite a few that you could, I think, tap into with the database. But yeah, overall recommendation, relook at the title. Focus, I think, initially some more on keywords which are lower difficulty with the database. Right now, most of these keywords are like 4-5 difficulty, so you might be facing challenges ranking for them. Expand the localizations and look at the custom product listing feature in iOS. So that's all for the second app. Oh, forgot to mention in my summary, the screenshots need work. So yeah, that's all. Let's go to the third one. The third one is a language lessons app. Let's put it in this tool. And while this is happening, I think a similar suggestion as my first review. I know this is, I mean, AI generated most likely. This one is also a bit hard to understand what the app does, and it gives that AI feeling to me. So I think you can consider, ask prompting AI to make it a little less AI made feel, like make it look more minimalistic, or make it look a bit more, I don't know, professional, so to say, and also descriptive. I think, just looking at this, I can't really tell that it's a language lessons app. You could potentially, to denote that, you could potentially use things like these flags to denote some of that aspect here, in this area. Make it a bit more colorful to be a bit more attractive. Right now it looks a bit hard to understand and know what exactly it does. Good thing you're doing is at least you're putting your main thing first, main keyword first in this. But at the same time, this brand name is really long. So I think, if I were you, if the app is so new, I would not even use a brand name, to be very honest, if it's this long, or maybe just shorten it to something really, really, really short to save space. Also, learning easy, I don't know if it's a really good keyword, because it's very, very generic. Like, learning could be anything, right? You have to be a bit more specific. And I think your subtitle does that better. Language lessons, for example, reading based language lessons, is a bit more properly descriptive of what the app does. So the subtitle is actually better than the title here, which should usually not be the case. The title is the most important. So consider reworking your title, making it a bit more specific to what the app does. The screenshots look clean. I mean, there is a bit of extra text, but I think that's still okay, because it's very readable. I can understand what the app does. But another question for you, and I couldn't fully grasp that just looking at it, is, what is the most specific, most important use case of this app? Is it to learn a new language? Is it to learn vocabulary? Because when I see this, I also see vocabulary, spaced repetition, flashcards. So I think that might be interesting. The app concept is really cool. I think I really like the app concept. It's just about explaining it in a better way. Because if it's vocabulary, splitting the words, flashcards, that makes it a bit different from what I initially understood it to be, like a language lesson, maybe like just like a reading thing where you translate sentence by sentence. So yeah, some suggestions like that, make it a bit more clearer, crisper, especially with the title icon. Make it a bit more clearer. When I look at the listing, it's the same thing. It flags language leveler to be there, which could be removed. Ratings and reviews and localizations are a gap. It's also a new app, not so new, but still very new. So understandable. Keep working on it. The description again is good because it's using a lot of space here, but a lot of it is also just this contact us and whatnot, which is not going to help you rank for it. So um, I think you might have to relook at these areas to see where you can expand your focus. And when I look at the keyword rankings for the two-word keywords, actually, unfortunately, all of them are ranking well, but all of their traffics are really low. So it's not going to help at all. So what I can do is try to find you some reading related keywords. Let's say reading apps. There are quite a few, reading books, free reading apps, reading, and I think vocabulary was also your area, right? Yeah, there's quite a few vocabulary related ones also. So if I were you, I would really focus on making that initial, landing focused. Find the right specific keywords which you can rank for, and go hard on that. Make the icon clearer, and then try to see, what's your impact on the downloads. My guess is that right now you might be getting some downloads, but it might be a bit hard to get that conversion rate up unless you make these changes. So let's go to the fourth app now. This is a price tracking app, and I actually really like this app concept. So let's just put it in, and let's look at the listing. I think when I first saw this listing, it was really cool. It's doing all the good things. I think price tracker, it goes clear that the app does. It puts the brand name at the last. Although I'll see the character limit, I think there might be some gap here. This might be a bit how do you say, vague, because detect changes on any website could be anything. But again, if someone has looked at price tracker, maybe they probably already got hooked. The icon is good, but at the same time, I think there is potential to make it a bit more specific to price tracking. Like right now, this graph could mean anything, right? It doesn't just mean pricing. So maybe some imagery which denotes that. Let's say, like a dollar sign or like any other currency, which and you can localize that currency, right? Like you can make a different icon for different countries where which are your favorite top markets. A good thing I really liked about this listing is that it has a video. A video could convert really well because it explains how, what this app does. And the video was also like very simple and easy to understand. See, like price drop, and then it explains what's going on. The screenshots are what I love the most about this listing, actually. Very clean. It goes very well with, what exactly the app does. There is some visibility issue. Some of these are really small, so maybe try making it like 3 or 4 words, and then just expand it, and maybe even keep it at the top rather than, keep it here at the top for each screenshot. Make it visible, make it a bit more colorful, so that it is more visually appealing. But otherwise, these screenshots are really clean. The app looks very well designed. There's not significant changes I'd recommend to the listing, but some changes could help boost your conversion rate. And let's look at the listing. So yes, there is some gap in the title character limit. It's currently 25 characters, which is fine. I don't think it's a huge issue, but maybe there could be a way to improve that. Detect changes on any website limit wise is okay, but it's yeah, I mean, I'll try to see if there are any keywords which could be relevant to you. A good thing is that you're doing localization, so that's a good thing. But at the same time, the app rating is a bit weakish, I would say. And I can try to find that out separately. But maybe you need to look into why users are complaining about your app a bit, because 4.38 is honestly not bad. It's just that maybe some users are not having a good experience, and it could sometimes be a very basic issue that could be fixed. The app has been there in the market for a while, so it's okay, but it will just continue to benefit from the legacy effects over time. And yeah, this is an area which I think can be very useful for you. Price tracking, I think, might be a very SEO driven niche also. Like people might look for an app like this on LLMs on Google. So having a well optimized description can help you appear there. When I look at the keyword rankings, it's still doing that. So the good thing is for price tracker, you're at number three. That's really cool, and I think it's a decent traffic keyword. I I think, let's see who's the top ranking app in this space. So let's just quickly see that. And let me also see what users are complaining about for your app because of the 4.38 rating. So yeah, there are two other apps. The interesting thing is there's one app which is a QR code scanner that is at the number two. So I think this is just temporarily benefiting from the ASO boost. I think you could potentially get back to number two for the one once their ASO boost dies, because you are quite quite competitive otherwise. The Keepa price tracker, this is the one which feels like a household name. Their app listing is not good at all, but it feels like they have good brand recall. That's, I think, what's basically keeping them up, right? Keepa.com. So maybe you will face some challenges because just given their popularity, they have more than 1200 ratings. So ranking at number one may be challenging, but at least number two could be possible once this number two guy dies after the ASO boost ends. And in terms of the other keywords, yeah, my guess is that most of the traffic right now is coming from this keyword, right? The others are not really driving much. I can also try to see if there are any specific keywords that are price related. There are some flight. Yeah, this is actually like very interesting. See, there's quite a few price related keywords here, and that's a good. See, that's a good idea that just came up in my mind. What you can do is you can actually make it off of use cases, right? Like right now, it's, I think, um, only for Amazon or like apparel, right? What I saw in the database is people are searching for flight price tracking, people are searching for like gas price tracking. Those could be specific things that you might be able to develop specific listings for, because again, your app does a lot of things. If you unbundle it in your mind, right? This is similar to the Uniconversion app that I did before. Not exactly, but in a similar way, that it has a lot of use cases. So it could be relevant. So and lastly, let's just look at the user review insights. Notification issues. Yeah, so there are some like UX related complaints apparently from what the sentiment analysis is. So it doesn't seem like a big issue. It's just something that, a UX related issue, that if you can boost your rank rating, that could help, because if you see the number one rated app is 4.83 stars, so that is also a factor in ranking. So over time, try to improve on this, maybe make it a bit more stable, try to address the user concerns, and then you'll be able to get a good get a better ranking for your main keyword, which is price tracker. And you can expand to other keywords that I found through the database. So let's look at the oh no, I'm already at the fifth app. Okay, let's go. So this is a breathing exercise app. Let's just close these two. Oh yeah, I really like this listing. I think it's really well made. The it uses it uses the main keyword breathing exercises properly, although it could come in the front, and we'll analyze that with the ranking tracker. The anxiety relief and anti-stress add the cherry on the top. Again, clear, well written. What I really liked about this is also the icon. It is, I know it's like a branding thing, and I think it's a really cute icon that will give a good understanding of what the app does. The screenshots are also really clean, although there might be quite a bit going on the screen. If just from a visual hierarchy perspective, there's quite a few elements on each of these, like so many shapes. So maybe it might just be better to like lighten it up a bit. It's just, it can get a little overwhelming looking at these. And also the color is very very one tracked, like it's fully purple. So maybe like diversifying the color can improve that visibility a bit. Again, I think it's a branding, and it's more of a decision that you made from your branding perspective, but maybe just thinking it could improve. I do think you can remove this screenshot, by the way. I don't think this answers anything. So just start with this app of the day, give that social proof, start giving an understanding of what the app does. Just try to improve, I think, on the color scheme a bit, just for like from visual perspective. But otherwise, it's a good start. When I look at the listing, what you can definitely do is move this in the front. That will, I think, help. What you can also do here is you can okay, sorry, this is fine. This limit is being optimized well. The ratings are good. That's great. 94 ratings is good enough. I mean, it's not to the level that many of the really popular apps are having, but it's still good enough. You're also doing localization, so you've got like a lot of like the basics sorted, which is great. The app has been there in the market for a good amount of time, which is also a good sign. So and the description is also good. The description is lengthy-ish, and what I like about this listing is that it leads from social proof and from a social proof angle. So good all around work here. What obviously see this is what I was expecting. For breathing exercises, you're ranking at number 18, and this could actually improve if you move it in the front. So what is possible is that some of the other apps that are ranking for it, let's say if I go to keyword research again, let me just load it up. What could be happening is that some of those other apps are actually using it completely at the start of their title, and let's just verify that. Yeah, see, like the number 3 one, okay, sorry, no, it's not. The number 5 one is using it in the front. Only the number 5. But I think what's obviously happening is that these apps are much, much more popular. You are at number 18 here. And there are some others that, see, for example, number 12 is actually using it in the front, and it has lesser ratings than yours. It also has a lesser average rating than yours. So if you think about it, if you move it in the front, it could be possible that you actually get into the top 10 for this keyword. It's just possible. Just try that. And let's see if there are any breathing related keywords in this. Probably, right? Yeah, breathing exercise is already there. Breathing app, free breathing app. There's quite a few also, around 12 keywords that you could look at: pace breathing, deep breathing, free breathing, breathing zone. Try to tap into these keywords. So overall, my recommendation would be move the breathing exercises to the front. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, I think improve on the description a bit more. Like 2600 characters is good, but could have room. And try to focus more on keywords that are of higher traffic. These current keywords that you're ranking for, except for this, which is also at number 18, they are quite low in their traffic score. All right, let's go to the last one. And it's kind of, okay, not a similar app, but it's also in the health space. This is an app that I also like the listing for. And again, good signs here. You're using some of the important keywords in the title and your subtitle. Probably the recommendation would be similar. Try to move it in the front, and we'll see that. This one, I think, just experiment with some different color schemes. Sometimes, even small color scheme changes can have a very outsized impact on conversion rate improvement. So I wouldn't be surprised if you change it and you suddenly see a very big improvement in how many people are tapping through to your listing. It's just a test. I don't know fully about your audience. I can't predict. No one can predict. Only the customers can. But it's just a suggestion that you can try. I do think that it might be a bit hard to see on a small device again, because the color is such that it might, it might become hard to read on a small screen. So just try that. I think you might be surprised, because for example, this is very visible on a black, right? This turquoise color is very visible on black, but this faded color of like red might not be. The second suggestion I had when I was looking at your screenshots is very well designed, but I think the caption is a bit generic. Get the most out of your Apple Watch could mean a lot of things. So I think maybe being a bit more specific, because it's your first keyword, that could be very helpful. So, because it's a health and sleep tracking app, you could use some of those keywords directly and talk about that, like track your sleep and health with your Apple Watch, or um, get personalized health suggestions with your Apple Watch, like a caption like this but in the front. So make it more specific. I think that could be very helpful. And let's go to the listing audit. Until then, yeah, so space wise it's all fine. There are some gaps on the ratings and reviews. I won't be surprised if some of the other apps have a higher rating, so we can see what's going on there. Your good thing is you're also doing localization as well. The app has been there for some time, like around 1 year plus, and it is also being updated regularly, which is good. Description has some room, definitely, but what I'm seeing is a good thing is that you're using quite a few keywords when I scan through, using a lot of health related keywords in each part of the listing. So overall it's okay, maybe just some room to expand more, but I don't think that's a big gap. So from my first view, the bigger gaps seem to be on the icon and the screenshots, and a bit on the ratings front. Let's look at the keyword rankings. Most of these are low traffic keywords that you're ranking for. You're ranking in the top 50 for quite a few of them, but almost all of them are low traffic. So your most important one was, I think, sleep tracker, right? I think that's going to be a super super tough one. Like, yeah, 5.2 traffic, but it's a 7.3 difficulty, so there's no surprise. Health tracker also probably, yeah, high difficulty, and also you're not ranking for it. So then how do you position the app, right? I think, again, similar to what you should do, what I recommend to other people, is you need to look at some lower difficulty keywords. So sleep related keywords will be, I think, quite a few. Sleep tracker is here. Sleep tracker, is it sorted by difficulty? Let's do that. So low difficulty wise, I think, okay, this is sleep monitor might be a bit more relevant for Canada. Again, for the UK as well, apnea. Sleep sounds is irrelevant. Sleep monitor. I mean, so what I'm trying to say is that maybe the tracker combinations of these words are higher difficulty. Maybe in the title, try to use the monitor aspect. That could be one thing. And I can also look at health related options for you. So health related are also quite a few. Let me sort it again by difficulty. Here, health, discovery health, food health scanner. Some of these are very generic, which might not be relevant specifically to you, but there are some like heart health monitor tracker, health app for Apple. Yeah, so I mean, there are some. I think you'll have to dive into them. There's Okay. Let me really try to find something before I drop off on this. Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's see, watch related. That also is an option, right? Yeah, so Heartwatch is, for example, one that could be a relevant one. Um, um, Watch faces, stopwatch. I don't know if that functionality exists in your app. There's quite a few. I mean, I'm a bit worried that this video might break off. I'm just a bit mindful of that. Let me try to also search on the side, and I'll DM you if I find something cooler. And I think, let me just see the review issue, because that will be a quick one. Let's look at the user reviews. Yeah, so I think, similar to what other usually health tracking app have these reports of issues of like tracking metric accuracy, which is not completely fixable. So I don't know how much you can fix it, but maybe pricing related aspects you could look into. Like, some people I are saying that the free version is very limited. Maybe expand it a bit more to like ease their pain. Try to get a bit more improved ratings to compete, because the 4.58 might be strangling you a little bit. So yeah, those are going to be some of the recommendations for your app. Overall, I think it's a really good job, but some improvements on the graphics and some focus on lesser competitive keywords will be really helpful, to grow the downloads further, and also just focus on the ratings. So that's all for today's review video. Again, today I reviewed 6 apps for a change, and I think it was really fun to review all of them. If you have any questions, just DM me. If you're looking for a free audit, you can just go to Grow ASO and then get that audit done for your app. So happy to answer any questions, and thank you so much for watching this video.